Mr. Davis of Kentucky.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, I appreciate you being here today. I'd like to continue our discussion where we left it off last February regarding LIFO, last in, first out accounting. And I think there's some misunderstandings in much of the economic world on the role of this. It's not a loophole or a tax shelter. It was actually started during the Great Depression. And speaking of turning the clock back, I hear a lot of references from the other side about the Roosevelt administration, much of which his legislation was ruled unconstitutional. In fact, the domestic agenda got shut down by the Senate as a result of overreach. And my concern here in particular, if we want to create jobs in manufacturing, repeal of LIFO creates many challenges. It's a well-established practice. I think my colleague, Congressman Thompson, rightly pointed out that we're on a different standard. Our foreign competitors do not have this. This is one small advantage because of the great disadvantage American business does have in international competition. How do we compete with the Chinese with our average rate being around 40% and theirs about 12%? Well, here's the question. In industries like distillery, aerospace, where you have to set that inventory in many cases for years and then accrue it at a cost dramatically higher, you would raise taxes by $60 billion effectively, but at our end, for example, in my state, it would, actually those are your numbers, 59.1 billion, I believe is the exact number. In this downturn, I can see it very clearly killing jobs, reducing investment and risk, where that's already a challenge now. Congress rejected the proposal to repeal it last year. You brought it back to us. You told me there was a difference of opinion on that, but we have very broad bipartisan support to keep it. I was wondering if you would comment on where you see the compelling reason to repeal this.
Congressman, you made the case against very well, and I understand the concerns against, but we think it's reasonable policy. Again, we're following the lead of many members on this committee who have proposed this in the past, and I'd be happy to talk to you or respond in writing and try to walk through what its impact might be and what its rationale is. But we thought it was good policy back then. We still think it's good policy, but I understand the concerns you raise. I know not everybody agrees, and that's why that's how this process works. We get to sit down and look at these proposals and figure out what's going to make the most sense.
Well, Helen, just looking at it as a turnaround, and there was this discussion of, I've heard a drumbeat of, I'm waiting for President Eisenhower to be blamed for, since we're attacking Republican presidents on infrastructure.
Well, I don't think LIFO caused the crisis. I don't think it did.
No, but I think that I think we're calling for bipartisanship and then making endless attacks on things that frankly are pointless from a political standpoint. I put this in light of a corporate turnaround. When you go into a failing plant, and I've done that before, the one thing that you never do is hurt the things that are actually maintaining financial stability and put further burden to increase costs when you're trying to take cost out of the process. All I could say is when you come in with a $160 billion deficit and condemn that, and then we have over $1 trillion deficit, if I took that before a board of directors, I'd hear the words of that show, The Apprentice, you're fired.
I don't think
that's what the American people are going to do if we keep this out of control spending.
I don't think metaphors capture what we're facing. But because one thing, Mr. Chairman, but I think you said an important thing. Failing company, we got a turnaround problem. Now, I don't think we've got a failing economy. We have huge strength across this country, a lot of innovative, dynamic, strong businesses, but we have a turnaround problem, and we're beginning to make some progress turning it around. And again, we'd like to see if we can find ways that work together that'll make it more likely we get this economy back on track, we repair the damage, repair the wreckage, and as we grow, we do so with more jobs.